Hey there! Welcome to today's deep dive.
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
You shared Thewizardliz's video, Stop Doubting Yourself.
Right.
And you're looking for a confidence boost, some practical advice
For sure.
on how to handle self-doubt. So we're going to unpack this video's message together. This message is pretty bold, energetic for sure. And joining me is an expert who can help sort through Thewizardliz's points.
Happy to be here.
I have to say, watching that video, Thewizardliz's energy, wow, contagious.
Yeah.
Some of the points, they're really inspiring, but I'm wondering, how does this actually work in real life?
That's a great question to ask about these motivational messages.
Yes.
It's easy to get swept up in it.
Uh-huh.
But how do these ideas, translate into action?
Exactly.
That's where we come in.
Okay, so let's jump in. One of the first things that grabbed my attention, statistically speaking, were all miracles.
Okay.
Thewizardliz even throws out a number, 1 in 400 trillion.
Wow.
As the odds of even being born. So it's meant to make you feel this sense of worth.
Sure.
But honestly, does that kind of thinking actually change our behavior?
That's really fascinating. I think it can work on, multiple levels.
Okay.
On one hand, remembering how precious and unique our existence is can absolutely shift our perspective.
Right.
It can help us move through the world with more confidence, more gratitude.
Uh-huh.
And if you're struggling with self-doubt,
Yeah.
remembering that you beat some crazy odds just to be here.
Right. Hey, I'm already a winner just by existing.
Exactly. But, there is a potential pitfall with this mindset.
Oh.
It's like what we were talking about, putting things into practice in the real world.
Okay.
You see, if we get too caught up in this idea that we're miracles,
Yeah.
it can set us up for some pretty intense pressure. We have to live up to this extraordinary standard all the time.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like, I'm a miracle, so I can't mess up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of setting yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
Because, let's be real, everyone makes mistakes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that kind of pressure can actually fuel self-doubt
Yeah.
when things inevitably don't go perfectly.
Sure.
So it's about finding that balance,
Okay.
recognizing your worth, but also acknowledging
Yeah.
that you're human.
Yeah.
You're on a journey of growth.
So true. And speaking of journeys and growth, another theme is this idea that the best is yet to come.
Oh, yeah.
It's about looking ahead, believing in a brighter future. But sometimes I wonder, does that constant focus on what's next make us miss out on appreciating what we have now?
I see. Yeah. That's a great observation. It speaks to a key concept. It's called a growth mindset.
Okay.
It's the belief that we're constantly evolving, capable of learning and achieving more.
So instead of seeing a setback as a failure,
Right.
you see it as a chance to learn.
Exactly. And this mindset can be incredibly motivating, help us stay resilient when things get tough. It's not the end of the story.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. There's another side to this. If we get so fixated on the future, on what might be,
Yeah.
we miss out on the beauty and lessons of the present.
Sure.
Thewizardliz actually tells a story about this.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about how missing out on a job they really wanted
I remember that.
turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
It's a good reminder that what we perceive as failures
Yes.
can pave the way for incredible opportunities.
Right.
Have you ever experienced something similar, like a situation
Oh, definitely.
that felt like a setback, but it opened doors to something amazing?
Yeah, and I think we all have these stories.
Yeah.
It's human nature to want things to go a certain way.
Right.
But sometimes the universe has a different plan, a better plan.
That's so reassuring. And it makes me think about another point that Thewizardliz brings up, this idea of triggers as opportunities for growth.
Oh, okay.
They talk about how triggers,
Yeah.
those things that set off a strong emotional reaction, they're not flaws, but rather indicators of areas we need to heal. It's a powerful shift in perspective, but I imagine it's not easy to put into practice.
You're right. Dealing with triggers can be really challenging.
Yeah.
In the heat of the moment, our emotions take over.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see things clearly.
Sure.
But what's fascinating here, Thewizardliz encourages us to look beneath the surface reaction, to ask ourselves, what's the underlying emotion
Okay.
or belief that's being brought up here?
So instead of getting defensive
Yeah.
or trying to suppress those triggers,
Right.
we can use them to understand ourselves better.
Exactly. It's about shifting from, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
To, what can I learn from this? And sometimes that process can be really uncomfortable.
Sure.
It might even bring up past hurts or traumas that we haven't fully processed.
And in those cases, seeking professional help from a therapist can be incredibly valuable, right?
There's no shame in asking for help,
Mm-hmm.
especially when dealing with deep-seated emotional patterns.
Now, this next part might sound a bit hard, but it really resonated with me. It's about being done.
Done with people?
Yes. Done with people, situations, anything that drains our energy.
Oh, wow.
Thewizardliz is really big on setting boundaries,
Okay.
recognizing that we deserve to be in environments and relationships that uplift and support us,
Right.
not drag us down.
That's a powerful message. It goes hand in hand with self-worth.
For sure.
Recognizing our value means setting limits on what we tolerate.
But how do we know when to walk away? Thewizardliz doesn't give super specific advice on that.
It's true, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
But a good starting point is to check in with yourself.
Okay.
Is this situation making me feel drained, stressed, resentful?
Mm-hmm.
If so, it might be time to reevaluate. It could mean having some tough conversations about boundaries,
Yeah.
or even making the decision to step away.
I think we've all been in situations where we stayed longer than we should have.
Absolutely. It's a learning process, for sure.
So, listener, think about a time you stayed in a situation that wasn't serving you. What was the turning point? What finally made you decide to be done?
Powerful question.
Okay, get ready for this next one. It made me chuckle when I first heard it, but the more I think about it, the more I see the wisdom in it. Thewizardliz encourages us to be delusional about achieving our goals.
Delusional. Now, that's a bold statement.
Right. It sounds a little crazy at first,
Oh.
but there's actually a psychological basis for this.
There is. It comes down to the power of belief
Okay.
and the role it plays in shaping our reality. Essentially, Thewizardliz is tapping into this idea.
Yeah.
If we can truly believe in something,
Mm.
visualize it with, like, unwavering conviction, we're much more likely to make it happen.
It's almost like tricking our brains into thinking it's already reality,
Right.
which then boosts our motivation
Yeah,
and pushes us to take those steps, even if they seem risky or scary.
precisely. And when we're talking about achieving goals, that unwavering belief, that delusional confidence, that can be the difference between giving up and pushing through obstacles.
So it's not about ignoring potential challenges or living in a fantasy world.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on the positive outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can be a game changer. Think about a goal you've been putting off,
Yeah.
something that feels a bit out of reach.
Yeah.
What would it look like to be delusionally confident in your ability to achieve it?
Those are powerful questions for our listener to consider. Now, this next part of the video took me by surprise.
Okay.
Thewizardliz tells this parable, a story about a billionaire and a poor man, and it got me thinking about the power of expectations.
You're talking about the story of the blanket, right?
Yes. It's about this poor man who's freezing outside,
Right.
and this wealthy billionaire promises to bring him a blanket.
Yeah.
But the billionaire gets distracted and forgets, and the poor man ends up dying.
Oh, wow.
And he leaves this note
Okay.
saying that the hope the billionaire gave him, the expectation of warmth, actually made him less able to withstand the cold.
It's a powerful story. It highlights the potential downside of misplaced hope.
What do you think Thewizardliz is trying to say with this parable? What's the deeper message?
To me, it's about recognizing the responsibility that comes with raising expectations, both for ourselves and for others. It's about making sure our promises are grounded in reality
Yeah.
and recognizing that sometimes offering empty hope can do more harm than good.
It also makes me think about how our own expectations, the stories we tell ourselves about what's possible,
Right.
can empower us or limit us.
Absolutely. In the parable, the poor man was surviving. He was finding a way to cope until this external promise was made.
Right.
It's a reminder that sometimes true strength comes from accepting our current circumstances, even the challenging ones, and working within them rather than pinning all our hopes on something external changing.
It's a great reminder that resilience isn't about waiting for someone to save us. It's about finding the strength within ourselves to navigate the challenges.
I like that.
Now, this leads us to what I think is Thewizardliz's core message, the big takeaway from the whole video. It's this idea that
The person we're all searching for, the one who's going to fulfill us, is ultimately ourselves.
yes, it's so simple yet so profound.
I know, right?
We spend so much time looking for validation and happiness outside of ourselves, in relationships, possessions, achievements.
Right.
But true fulfillment comes from within.
It does, and for a lot of people, this is a huge shift in perspective.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to believe that happiness is something we need to acquire.
Right. Like, it's external.
It's like we're always chasing something, always looking for that next thing that's going to complete us.
Uh-huh.
But the Thewizardliz is reminding us that we already have everything we need within ourselves.
It's so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, to
Oh.
feeling like we're not good enough,
That's
not
right.
successful enough, not whatever, enough. But what if we shifted our focus inward? What if we started celebrating our strengths, acknowledging our imperfections, and embracing our unique journey?
That's where true transformation happens.
Right,
When we start to love and accept ourselves,
right.
we naturally attract more love and acceptance into our lives.
It's like that saying, what you seek is seeking you.
Exactly. And speaking of seeking, there's another story that Thewizardliz shares about what they call the blessing of the black sheep.
Oh, yeah.
It's about their experience with financial abuse and hardship,
Wow.
and how those challenges, those incredibly painful experiences,
Mm-hmm.
actually became catalysts for their growth and their empathy.
It's a powerful reminder that our greatest trials can become our greatest teachers.
They can. And what I find fascinating
Yeah.
is how the Thewizardliz connects this to the archetype of the black sheep.
Oh.
You know, those who are seen as different, unconventional, maybe even a bit rebellious. They even say, God blesses the black sheep.
And it's almost like they're suggesting that those who don't fit the mold, who've had to overcome adversity, often develop a unique strength and resilience.
It's like an inner fire that's forged in the face of hardship.
And the Thewizardliz talks about how those experiences, as painful as they were, have given them this incredible capacity for empathy.
They've turned their pain into purpose.
It is, and it reminds me of another point the Thewizardliz makes, that nothing that's truly meant for us can be taken away.
Right.
No matter what obstacles we face, our purpose will always find its way back to us.
It's a comforting thought, this idea that there's a bigger plan at play.
Yeah.
Even when things feel chaotic or uncertain, it encourages us to trust in the process, to trust that even when things don't go according to our plan, there's a reason for it.
And the Thewizardliz's own life story is a testament to this.
Right.
They talk about how their life completely turned around when they were at their absolute lowest point,
Oh, wow.
like hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
And that's when things started to shift.
Amazing how often that happens. Hitting that point of surrender, of letting go, opens up space for something new to emerge.
And speaking of new beginnings, the Thewizardliz emphasizes that every second is a chance to start fresh.
Ooh, I like that.
We have the power to choose a new reality, a new path in any given moment.
We do.
It's not about dwelling on the past.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we're not defined by our past experiences.
It's about reclaiming our power and choosing to create a future that aligns with our highest vision of ourselves.
This applies to every area of our lives.
It does.
Our relationships, our careers, our beliefs about ourselves.
If something isn't serving you, if it's not bringing you joy, you have the power to walk away. It's not selfish, it's self-love.
The Thewizardliz even encourages us to be done with ourselves sometimes.
What does that even mean?
To recognize those patterns and behaviors that are no longer serving us.
Oh, okay.
And choose to let them go.
It's like giving ourselves permission to evolve,
Yeah.
to shed those old layers and step into a more authentic version of ourselves.
So, listener, what are you ready to be done with? What are you ready to release so you can make space for something new, something better?
It's a great question.
Hold that thought as we explore one of the most intriguing ideas from the video. It's this idea that we need to become the energy we want to attract.
Oh, like if we want to find love, we need to become love ourselves.
Yes. If we want to attract abundance, we need to cultivate a mindset of abundance.
It's about aligning our inner world with our outer desires.
Okay, that makes sense, but how do we actually do that? How do we become love or abundance or any other quality?
It's a process. It starts with self-awareness.
Okay.
What are the qualities you admire? What are you drawn to? Chances are those qualities are already present within you.
Like recognizing those seeds of potential.
And then it's about taking action.
Okay.
What small steps can you take each day to align yourself with that energy?
So if I'm wanting to attract more abundance,
Yeah.
maybe I start by practicing gratitude.
Exactly. It's about embodying those qualities in our thoughts, words, and actions.
Now, there's one final point from the video I want to touch on, especially for anyone struggling with self-doubt.
Yep.
The Wizard List talks about the importance of trusting ourselves, having faith in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way.
It's about recognizing our own resilience, knowing that we've overcome challenges in the past,
Yeah.
and we have the strength to do it again.
It can be so easy to get caught up in those moments of doubt, you know?
Oh, for sure, especially when we're facing something new or stepping outside our comfort zone.
Right.
But the Wizard List reminds us that true confidence, it isn't about never feeling fear or doubt.
Okay.
It's about having faith in our ability to bounce back,
Yeah.
learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward.
They share a really heartwarming story about their family and how their family members have this, like, unwavering belief in their ability to handle anything.
It makes you realize, like, how often we give others more credit than ourselves.
It's so true. We're our own worst critics.
Yeah.
We hold ourselves to these impossible standards
Right.
and then beat ourselves up when we don't meet them. But what if we treated ourselves with the same compassion we offer to others?
That's a powerful shift.
Right. And it ties back to that core message of self-love and self-acceptance.
It does, and it brings us to the Wizardliz's final message, embracing that inner delusion,
Okay.
that unwavering belief in ourselves.
Even when others might doubt us.
It's like giving ourselves permission to dream big,
Yeah.
believe in the impossible,
Uh-huh.
and go after what we want.
Without fear or self-doubt.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that inner fire, the passion that drives us.
Yeah.
To create and achieve things that others might think are impossible.
And surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, support our dreams.
Yes, we all need those cheerleaders in our lives.
Right.
The people who see our potential and encourage us.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Stop Doubting Yourself, what are the key takeaways for our listener?
I think the overall message is empowerment. It's about recognizing that we have the power to create the life we desire.
We are worthy.
Yes, you're capable.
And we are not alone.
It's about shifting from self-doubt to self-belief.
From fear to courage.
Yes, from limitation to possibility.
The Wizardliz's video is a call to action.
It is.
It's a reminder to be kind to ourselves.
And to celebrate our strengths.
And to keep striving for our best lives.
Embrace our unique gifts. Step into our power.
Yeah.
And create a life that's meaningful.
I love that. So, listener, as you go about your day, what's one small step you can take today to move closer to that vision of yourself, to that life you truly desire?
Hold on to that thought.
Let it simmer.
And take action.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep believing in the power of you.